Shalom again. So again, I have one more thing I want to share, and that is because he's speaking to me right now. And again, I know it will bless you. And it's something very important to understand. When the word says in 1 Corinthians 13 that love believes all things, what this is actually saying is that love embodies your faith and protects your faith. When it says these three are the greatest, love, faith, and hope, the reason I love, and then it says love is the greatest, is because love actually protects and supports your faith as well as your hope. And when the love fails, so will the faith and so will the hope. So, all over the world, you see in the body of Yeshua, we have faith, we have hope, but why does it eventually pass on and some lose both? And it's because the love also disappeared. And that's why the word says in the end times love will wax cold, and Yeshua will have the question, will I find faith on this earth? It's because the love wax cold. That's why. Now realize this, that Yeshua actually uses matters of faith to test your love. And every test that you will have in life is just a sub-test to your main test of love. And that's what it's about. Because you should say the greatest commandments is that you love the Lord your God with all your heart, strength, and mind. That's Yahweh, Yoshua, and Imeyah, the Ruach Kadesh. And that you love one another as you love yourself. Therefore, these will be your greatest tests. And every other test is just a subtest. So take this for example, when Yoshua said to the disciples, and he had many disciples that followed him, and he said, drink my blood and eat my body. And the people were like, what? Who could believe such a thing? This man saying we should drink his blood and eat his body. But Yoshua knew they would not believe. Because it wasn't a test of faith. It was a matter of faith to actually test their love to find out who his true disciples were. And then he was left with only a few. And they said, Lord, we don't understand it, but you alone have the words of life. And knew who his disciples were. Of course, not Judas. That was part of Yah's plan. And another example is in the book of Ruth. So Naomi had a husband, 2 sons, and 2 daughter-in-laws. One of those daughter-in-laws was Ruth. Now, they lost the husband, and the 2 sons died, and it was just Naomi, Ruth, and the other daughter-in-law. And there was a famine, and they were brought to like a valley of decision. And one daughter-in-law kissed Naomi and returned back to her gods. Now, the reason she returned back to her gods was not because she did not believe, or I believe more in my gods. The reason was because her love for Naomi to remain with her wasn't that strong. Ruth, on the other hand, said to Naomi, where you lodge, I will lodge. Where you go, I will go. Where you die, I will die. Your God is my God. She didn't know Naomi's God. She knew Naomi and her character. But because she loved Naomi, she believed. So her love determined her faith. And in these end times, this is where we are. How much is the love of Yeshua going to rule and reign in our hearts will depend on how much we're going to hold on to our faith. Yeshua is wonderful, altogether wonderful. And we can test our faith and we can test our love also by how much thanks are we giving him. This is why you enter into his courts first with thanksgiving and praise. How much thanks are you giving him for what he has done in your life? The good that he has done. The mercy that he's shown. We were saved from hell. That alone. Yeshua died on the cross. If that was it, we should be thankful. For the good he has done, the bad he's allowed, for whatever has happened in our lives. God the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, like Job, who was afflicted in every way, lost his children, lost his home, lost his finances, everything. But you see, the ones who love God, all things will work together for them because they love him and are called according to his purpose, and so they will give thanks. The living and sound in heart, the book of wisdom says, will give thanks. And so that's something I want to share with you. Yah will use your matters of faith to test your love. He will use the matters of hope to test your love. But everything in life is a test of love. All right, and shalom.